Hey there, I'm Sean Collins, and I'm the esports reporter with the Dallas Morning News. I cover OpTic Texas and the Call of Duty League, and I just wanted to give my post-major to CDL power rankings. And I mean, these ones, it just feels all over the place because it's so different from what I had previously, but I don't think anybody really expected things to go down the way they did at Major 2. But I guess at the top of the S tier is the Los Angeles Guerrillas, especially with Spart. You win 10 search and destroys in a row, and instead of Call of Duty League record, go through a losers bracket run and get all the way through the tournament and then stomp Atlanta FaZe in the final. I mean, they were obviously hot, but they were also playing really good Call of Duty. It's not like everybody else was just screwing up and they were taking advantage of it. I mean, they just played really smart, fundamental Call of Duty, and all four players stepped up in moments where they needed it, and that's the sign of an S tier team. So I'm shoving them way up here in the S tier. After that, I do think it's still Atlanta FaZe and OpTic Texas. OpTic Texas only finished top six, but I still think that they're going to be an S tier team moving forward. So I'm not going to bump them down to the A tier because I think that they're better than the teams below them, even though the Surge did beat them, and the Mutineers beat them. I think they just played poorly this weekend. I do think Atlanta FaZe gets to be above OpTic Texas right now, though. Apart from the finals, they looked good all week long. In the A tier, I was impressed with the Boston Breach. Methods looked really good. He looked like a top AR in the game. The Seattle Surge looked much improved. The London Royal Ravens had a tough weekend, but I'm still going to keep them in that bottom of that A tier right now. I'm willing to put them down in B if we see them struggle a little bit in stage 2. Um, in the B tier, I have the Florida Mutineers. I think that they looked pretty good over the weekend as well. Just a couple things that they could probably patch up, but they could sneak up into the A tier if they keep playing well. The Subliners, they kind of just had a really tough bracket, to be honest. They played against a FaZe team that was hot, and then they got reverse swept by the Thieves, and the Thieves just got really hot in that series. And I could see the Thieves squeaking up in the B tier, but for right now, I do have them in the C tier. That 0-5 stage presence was not great, and they did get reverse swept by OpTic Texas as well. The Minnesota Rocker, they're just struggling to really get anything going. Tough pull getting OpTic Texas in the losers round, but it's still they need to figure something out over there. The Toronto Ultra just really struggling. I toyed with putting them in the D tier right now, which is weird to say because the Ultra coming into this year, I figured would be a top 3 team. But I don't know if it's a roster move. I don't really think a roster move is necessary over there. But the only D tier team I'm gonna have is still gonna be Paris. You know, they showed some signs and they have improved. They're not a pushover anymore, but they're still the worst team in the league. But anyway, those are my power rankings. If you enjoy these, make sure to leave a comment. Talk about it, debate it, as long as it's kind, and like and subscribe.